Hi there and welcome to my channel, A Country Life. I'm Jennifer and I promised you guys a video where I made two things. One is chocolate torte, which is one of Warren's very favoritist desserts ever. And then the other one is going a little bit later in this video. I'm also going to share the mini cheesecakes that I made for Easter. It's something that my family has actually made. I remember it when I was a kid. So anyway, let's get going with the first dessert here. It starts very easy. You open up a chocolate cake mix. The original recipe calls for Pillsbury Plus. I don't think it really matters. I always pick up the one from Aldi, and it's a Devil's Food cake mix. Put that into the bowl of your mixer. Add to it 1 cup of flaked coconut. I actually have unsweetened organic coconut flakes this time. Sometimes I use the sweetened coconut. It really doesn't make a difference. No one notices. Either way, whatever one I use. Then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of water, 1/4 cup of melted butter, 1 egg, and I'm just going to mix this until it's well blended. While that mixes for a minute, I'm going to get my pan, a 9x13 metal pan sprayed with vegetable spray. So don't be surprised to see that it's a very dry mixture. Then I'm going to place the dough into the cake pan and press it in there. As you can see, Warren likes this so much, he doesn't even wait for it to be done. He comes by to have a little snitch. It takes a little bit to get it pressed into all the corners, but just really press it in firmly. And then what I'd normally do is bake it right now for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. We're actually making some bacon in the oven for BLTs here for lunch today. It actually happens to be Mother's Day, and so that is what is happening in there right now. So we're just going to set this aside for a minute until the bacon is done. In the meantime, I'm going to get my chocolate pudding ready here, so you can either use 1 large box or 2 smaller boxes, and I'm going to put in a little less milk than this calls for. I think each of these calls for 2 cups. Yes, so instead of 4 cups of milk, I'm going to start with 3, and then I might add another 1/2 cup. So we're going to set this to, nope, that's not the right thing. We're going to set this to broil. And we're going to, there we go. And I'm just going to let this broil for a couple minutes. I'm going to toast up my coconut here. This was just a tiny bit of a sweetened, let me show you. So I had just a smidge left in this bag when I was digging around, and I thought, let's just get that used up. So I'm just going to toast this up. I do have a little bit toasted from the last time I made this around Christmas. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use this, and it's all going to be good. Once the base comes out of the oven, I'm going to put the pudding mixture, I'm going to spread that over the top right away and then just let it cool. I actually today just left it on the counter to cool because it is fairly chilly today. If this was the middle of the summer, I would put this in the fridge. I also got out my Cool Whip, set that on the counter so that it could thaw. And I never remember if I'm going to need 1 or 2 things of Cool Whip. It just kind of seems like sometimes it spreads a little bit easier than others. So I grabbed 2 to thaw because I just never know how much Cool Whip is going to look to be just right for that day. And it looks like this time it's going to take me about 1.5 cartons of Cool Whip. I just spread that all over and then top it with all of my toasted coconut. I'm going to put this into the refrigerator, and we're going to let that chill while we go out and install some lights outside. For Mother's Day, Warren is going to install some lights for me over the patio, so that's what we're going to do. Even though it's really cold and windy outside, we're going to give that a try. Okay, so I am back in the kitchen. We of course polished off that entire chocolate torte, and now it is time to make the mini cheesecakes. This is a recipe that I remember my grandma making, my mom making, and it seems like it was always one of those recipes or one of those things that they would make when there was something a little bit fancy going on. When I made them for Easter, it's amazing how easy they are. I mean, if you are craving a little bite of cheesecake, these are so easy and they're actually not tedious at all, and so I'm not really sure why we save this for fancy things. There's no need to. So let me just show you what I've got going. Please don't mind me. I am just going to cook amongst or amidst my clutter here. Okay, so I have my muffin tins right here, and I'm going to put liners in each of these, and then we are going to drop a vanilla wafer into the bottom of each muffin cup. And before I started putting the muffin cups in, I did get out my cream cheese so that could start to soften, as well as the eggs so that they can come to room temperature. Now we're going to put 3 bricks of cream cheese into the bowl of my KitchenAid. Okay, I'm going to put in 2/3 cup sugar. And then when it's time to do the eggs, I'm going to do each one individually and beat in between, just to really make sure that gets really mixed in there well. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees right now. I like to scrape between each egg just to be sure that I'm getting everything off of the bottom. It gives me a chance to make a mess here too, I see. And just give it one more scrape. Put in 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And another mix, and then we will be good to go, and that is it. That's all the ingredients there is to making these little cheesecakes. These are ready to go into the oven now for 25 minutes. I'll probably start looking in, peeking in on them at 20 minutes just to make sure they're not getting overcooked, but 25 is generally the time it takes. Okay, so I had set my timer for just 20 minutes and that was perfectly cooked through. They were just a little bit puffier, so that's really what you're looking for. You just want, and then they are going to sink, okay, because they're kind of like a, they're a cheesecake. So they are going to kind of puff up and then sink down, and that's just perfect. So I'm going to let these cool in the pan for just about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to take them out, let them cool. The best is to let these... Hi, Joe. The best then is to let these chill, and then what we'll do is we're just going to top it with some cherry pie filling. So as soon as we get to that point, I'll show you that. So these are so easy. They're so delicious. Yep, grab it.